What's up, guys? This is Corey, also known as QC Rideshare. Just hitting you guys with the latest video. Before I get to the topic of the video, one thing I just want to always state is when I started doing these videos, my goal was never to just show you a rosy side or the glamorous side or whatever you want to call it of the rideshare industry. It was to give you a fair and complete understanding of the experiences that I experience, other drivers experience, and so on. So where most of my videos talk about the positive, this one's going to be more on the negative side. The topic was going to be about the support, the customer support that drivers get with the rideshare industry, as well as some recent interactions that I personally have had with both Lyft and Uber. So both of these companies are startups. They have a lot of venture capital money. Their job is to grow, and understanding that from having a financial background, I kind of discount a lot of their mishaps when it comes to customer service. But I think when you are launching a new app, just a general app, or a new game or something like that, having bad or subpar customer service is something that you can get away with. But when you go into the line of employing 1099 employing, or being responsible for people's livelihoods, customer service is just something that you can't skimp with. It's almost the equivalent to a person who works a traditional 9 to 5 having an issue with getting their paycheck every week. You know, as much as you won't stand for that at your job, this is the same kind of situation that we experience. So couple experiences that I recently had with customer service, and I recently have had experience with Lyft with their customer service, because I did one of these guaranteed hourly amounts that they promote. In Charlotte, in the market that I'm in, they really don't usually have them too much, but they had one recently, and I opted in. You know, I'm always a little skeptical about it, because I think that if you are doing the right things, you're working your process, you really don't have to worry about guaranteed hours, because you're going to make the money. However, I looked at it, it came out to about $30 an hour. I was like, you know, that will work at the time periods that I'm going to be working, so let me go ahead and try it. So I opted in. The email said Saturday 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. Okay, makes sense, you know, and you had to do one ride per hour, and like, that's easy enough. Now in Charlotte, Lyft is not nearly as busy as Uber. So by me cutting off the Uber app, that's right there a big sacrifice, because that's where I get my volume. And so I went ahead and I did the hours, and I noticed a few days after I did it, when the pay cycle ended, that I wasn't getting paid for it. So I contacted support, had a couple back and forth with support, just trying to get them to understand what I was asking, because everything seemed like an automated response. Then after about the third back and forth, where it finally seemed like they got what I was stating, they stopped communicating, and it got so bad that I actually had to contact them. Put something on Twitter for them to acknowledge that they have never resolved the issue. And so once I put it out on Twitter, then suddenly they got back to me and started responding to me. So I think that's a flaw. I shouldn't have to reach out to you on social media and essentially embarrass you on social media in order for your customer service to keep an interaction that they were just participating in. So they went ahead and I went ahead and completed my interaction, in which they tell me that, oh, Saturday 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. is actually Sunday 12 a.m. to 3 a.m. Now the email that they sent me doesn't say this. None of the information says, well, we consider Saturday to mean 4 a.m. Saturday morning to 4 a.m. Sunday morning. And so I went back and forth and expressed to them how frustrated I was because, we're not talking about you adjusting me hundreds of dollars. Because the adjustment, the way it works is they're just going to make up the amount that you normally would have made. And so essentially when I was looking at it, it came out to like $50. And it's like, if we're partners, one side can't always be at the short end of the stick. Partners, we may both walk away from the table upset, but essentially we're both going to walk away from the table compromising. And I don't think any of that was done. And this is not the first time I've had to go back and forth and do this whole dance with Lyft on Twitter and contacting them. There was another situation where it was a Lyft ride. I was in my truck. They had more than 4 passengers. So I went ahead and took them. And with Uber, I can just go ahead and say, hey, can you do an adjustment based off of there being more than 4 passengers? And they'll go ahead and adjust it. With Lyft, it's this whole dance that they want to tell you what you need to do for next time. And it took 2 days for them to go ahead and say, oh yeah, by the way, we should go ahead and pay you for you taking a bigger ride. And I think telling me to cancel a ride is not customer friendly, because the reality is I may do that, but then that customer may get frustrated and rate me bad, and then you're going to say, oh well, that just happens from time to time. So I just think that with Lyft, there's opportunities for them to just better customer service, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a call center kind of like how Juno does it, although that would be ideal. It just has to be better, and it has to be a focus of the company. And with Uber, it's kind of the same thing. My experiences with Uber have been a lot smoother, because it just seems like they are more about making sure that their partners are motivated and happy, and if they have to take a short-term loss in order to make you happy, they understand that that's going to be the ultimate gainer. So that's my video on support and service. Please let me know if you have any experiences, things that you think that they could do better, and let me know what your comments are. As always, if you can subscribe, thumbs up are always appreciated. Until the next one, have a good one.